can't catch this. Today, our sole focus is command, but before we get started, I want to hear you guys tell us something good. Share what you guys got going on good, your wins. We have in the room today, Laquan and Adam, so there'll be some active participants outside the window here, outside the view pane. So what you got? Tell me something good.
I'll start.
Okay.
Our team is on fire. We got, hang on. We had 2 houses we closed on last week. We took 4 listings, 2 of which are now under contract with less than 48 hours, 24 hours.
Oh, wow.
Actually. And we got 2 of our listings under contract and 2 new constructions under contract. Boom.
Girl, I love it.
Build them before it burns down.
I love it. Let's see. Who else has something good? Gina Hornsby.
I have a buyer's contract signed. Well, we have a contract signed, and they'll be closing. They won't close in September, but they also signed a listing contract, and I will be putting their home on the market in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
I love it.
And I finally got my neighbor to sign a buyer's agreement.
Awesome.
Oh, Shakara.
I love that. You told us about that last week. Gina Hornsby, I see you. What you got to share?
Guess I got, well, I thought I had a signed contract, but then the purchasers have come up with some questions. So I'm still negotiating back and forth on that, but I think it's going to probably go through and close by September.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And that was a lead from?
Op City.
Perfect.
Oh,
You've had
wow.
the best conversion so far out of anybody. Mm-hmm. We've had that a little over a week now. So that's pretty incredible. Anybody in the room have something good to share?
I may have a possible appointment for a listing for 74 acres right off the Coosa River in Rockford.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
Go, Deanna.
Well, we've had a phenomenal first half of 2020, and we were talking about that yesterday. And go ahead.
I was waiting on you to call on me. I'm sorry. I was trying not to interrupt, but I do have something good. This is Bernadette. I had a closing on last Thursday.
Bernadette.
I know, right? And from a listing sale, as Adam always preached to us about listings, from a listing sale, I do have another closing as a result of that selling on Thursday. It closes September 10th.
That's
so
awesome,
Yeah, so my one thing this morning was I had a potential, I'm trying to get the appointment, but I've had the contact with a new listing sale now. So it just gave me the motivation. My one thing this morning, which I didn't have time to do a lot of things, but that one thing this morning, I reached out to that one potential listing today.
That's awesome, Bernadette. Congratulations. And I'm sorry,
yes.
I can't see the tiny little hand, so I apologize about that. Hey, y'all just unmute.
Hey, listen, I can just jump in. I was just trying to be polite and raise my hand.
I love that.
Just jump in with all that good news.
Yeah, really.
Thanks.
We had our everybody leadership meeting yesterday for looking at the first half, going into the second half. And you guys, we have had a phenomenal first half of 2020. And so that's due to you guys and all your hard work. So we want to thank you. We're going to be putting together something today where you see exactly what all we've accomplished as a KW team family. And so that's really due to you all. So pat yourselves on the back, and we're going to get into command this morning. We asked you guys to submit what you wanted to hear talk about, and so we're going to kind of go through. We have a rundown of an agenda, and if you have any questions or want to pop in, feel free to do so, and we're really leaving that to the end. So we've got an agenda here that we're running on. First thing we want to look at is updates. Do you want to start with the updates, Susan?
Well, the updates were DocuSign.
Mm-hmm.
So Katie's actually been working with the regional tech guy, and with DocuSign, I have emailed back and forth for probably the last year. And she kind of took the reins on that to figure out what was going on. We could not access our board forms. And so as far as right now, all we know is they're still not there. We don't know when they're going to be there. We have our custom forms are there, the state forms are there, but the board forms are not. So that's the update for right now with that. That's all we know. But we're pushing really hard to get them to
And it's
step
not
up and get on track.
it's not just our market center that's experiencing this. Unfortunately, it's been a company-wide. The transition did not go as planned with the DocuSign. And so it is available to use. And I've talked to some agents that have signed up and have used it. And yet our forms are not in there and fillable. You can totally scan everything in and use DocuSign free of charge. You don't have to pay for that. And yet it seems easier for most people that are using AuthentiSign through Matrix. And so we've done a couple of little walkthrough videos with that. I know that Instinet AuthentiSign has a couple of tutorials. Just get in there and explore. But as of yet, we still don't have DocuSign live. So just wanted to update everybody. I've heard a couple people going, man, I signed up and I can't get it to work. It's not fully live yet, and our documents are not in there yet. So that's really an update on that. The second thing we want to cover, kind of in those same lines, is the timeline to submit things. So everyone knows that, we have certain policies and expectations. We follow along with what the board says as far as submitting. And in that vein, it's 2 days, right? 2 business days.
So like when you take a listing, you have 48 hours to put that listing in, right, into MLS. So we're asking for you guys to follow that same timeline of once you have a listing and you've submitted it, or a contract to, accepted offer, within 48 hours at least, please put your documents in to Command and submit to me. We have a policy of in by 9, out by 5, but that's also our policy for submitting your compliance documents. Once you have a listing and you submit that compliance and you have an accepted contract, and you submit that compliance, then you're to submit the commission request. That prompts me to go in and check your compliance. And so I try to do it as quickly as possible so that you guys know what might be missing, or what we, whatever. There could be an initial that you didn't notice wasn't there. So just so that when you get to the table that you're paid as quickly as possible.
Yeah. That's the process to make sure that everything double, triple, like Susan said, check. It's all good to go. Because the last thing we want is for there to be a hiccup in all that. You work so hard to get to closing. The last part of that should be a smooth process. And then in that timeline, we have our office policy of getting paid of the in by 9, out by 5. That timeline does not start when you drop your check in Susan's box unless all your compliance is complete. Does everybody understand that? Everybody feel good to go on that, comfortable with that? 2 things have to come together: compliance and the closing. Once those come together, that starts the process. Susan cannot process anything unless the compliance is done.
Right. And also, guys, we have a paper checklist up front. So the paper checklist up front, and I think we were going to talk about this further on down, but I wanted to go ahead and talk about it now because we're talking about all the things with the timeline. So there's a paper checklist up front for listing sales. So it's got the top half that is at the time when you take the listing. That's the paperwork you ought to have in place. There's also inside of Command checklist, right? And we'll go over this when we get a little bit further in. But that top half is when you first take the listing, and then the bottom half is when you receive an accepted contract. Buy or sale is just at one time, right? So once you're working with a buyer, you might already have, and I'm talking to Laquan over here.
She's talking to her imaginary friend.
But you might have a buyer that you're working with. So of course you'll have those couple of docs up front or whatever. you can go ahead and start putting those in the opportunity. You don't have to submit all of that to me until you have all the paperwork, right? Until you have an accepted contract, that buyer has found the home that they want, right? But at that point in time that you have an accepted contract, please make for sure to do that commission request, submit to me, but also submit to MC on the compliance section as well. I've had a lot of, I've got the commission request, but I'm going in and I'm searching and I can't find this opportunity, right? And the reason why is because the compliance section has been left open and not submitted to me. So it takes me probably sometimes 10 to 20 minutes to track down this opportunity. Just trying to give you guys some tips to help me do it quicker for you, right? Because y'all all know that my main priority is getting you guys paid as fast as possible.
And think about it like this: if you're not submitting to the market center the documents and the commission request, we don't have permission to go in and look at it. So it's not something that Susan can see. And when it's submitted to her, that alerts her, the commission alerts her, hey, this is the date of closing. Please plan ahead and go ahead and check the compliance.
Now, something I will tell you guys too about how Command's set up right now, and I'm hoping, because people are constantly submitting feedback to them about things that we want to change or to see, right? But when you submit the compliance request or the commission request, it does not notify me by email. So I just have to go in there and check every day to see if I have a notification under either one of those. So sometimes when I ask you for docs that may be missing or whatever, if you'll just shoot me an email and let me know, hey, Susan, I put stuff in, right? It doesn't have to be a long one, just a quick one. And then I know to go back in and check it, right? Because at that point, we're hoping in the future that we will receive the notifications like we did before when we used the different platform.
Yeah.
Because I got an email every time somebody submitted compliance to that one. So that's what we're hoping will come. But if you guys can just kind of let me know.
And naming your opportunity.
Right. So also too, when you guys, and I keep talking to Laquan, he's over here. So anyway, you guys know
you guys over here. Nothing against Laquan. He's just in here, so she's pointing at him.
So it's easier for me to talk to like a live person, I guess. But when you are working with a buyer, of course, you know at that time you don't know anything but the buyer's name, right? You don't have an address because you guys they're still looking.
Finding that.
So when you do have that address, please update your opportunity name to reflect that property address. I had one the other day that I spent quite some time trying to locate, and for some strange reason, when they submitted the commission request, what I saw on my screen and what I printed out did not show the same thing. So when I go back and I look for the compliance section, opportunity to check the compliance, I couldn't find it. So it was just a little bit, it's not anything you guys are doing wrong on your end. It's just till they work out all the kinks, and make this a little bit smoother than.
Yeah, on that too, Susan, I don't know if they can hear me or not, but if you go in and you write an offer on a property and that property falls through, remember to go in there and rename.
You just have to make it lost
opportunity.
Yeah, right. You change it to lost opportunity when it goes away.
So that's happening.
Right.
Yes.
That's a good
lost opportunity.
That's a good point though, because I don't think we've really touched on that a whole lot about the whole lost opportunity.
Well, you're seeing with the underwriting and all the new scrutiny under the loans. Gloria and I talked yesterday at length about the fact that the appraisals for a lot of these VA loans, the appraisals were coming in low. There was one person that had 3 different VA loans that didn't go through because of appraisal.
Could y'all hear Adam? Somebody give me a thumbs up if you heard him. Vicki, you probably heard him back there. Good deal. So yes, lost opportunity. Gerald hit us with the thumbs up. Bernadette, is your hand up again?
No?
Okay.
I think it was from before. Yeah.
All right, I'll just lower that. Okay, perfect. I'm trying to keep my eye out now that I know you guys are utilizing that. So that's just some updates and some general housekeeping kind of things.
And if you guys have any questions about this, write them down for the end of this so that we can answer. I know an hour is probably not a long time to be able to go in depth like what we want to, but
All right, so we're going to start with our new tool that we created, the closing Trello. It should have all been shared with everybody here. Oh my goodness. Come on now.
first time Katie's ever worked a computer.
I know, that was a good joke I told the other day. Okay, so Trello is a online system that is a checklist and helps keep everybody, where you kind of want to be. We incorporated this for our onboarding to have agents help walk them through the first steps in the first 90 days, giving tools and resources all in one place. And so we said, what is another way we could use this is through helping people with the closing, because sometimes we talk about it and until you're in there, maybe at 10 o'clock at night or whenever you're inputting this, you're going, man, what did they say about this? Or last time I did it, I remember something about this, but I can't quite remember exactly what it was. And so to eliminate that frustration, we put into place the closing Trello. And we just want to touch on that. Has anybody explored that that's on the call? Thoughts, feedback?
Has everybody been
Invited to
it?
I
I've never seen
used-
it.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that I've never seen that screen.
Okay, so if you have not been invited to it, ask Jaleesa at the front desk. She was going through and she has to do it one by one. So just
Okay.
make sure you'll get an invitation via email with a link, and the link opens up to this. What were you saying, Taisha?
No, never mind. I was just saying I use Trello, but I haven't seen this one, but you just said what to do.
Okay, so we've got it as bite size as we can, and you may log onto this and go, oh my gosh, I'm way above this. And yet you may come in and go, I don't need the opportunity help, but I need to look down here at the offer or at submitting my commission or something like that. So we made it as granular as we could and still be a resource. You see how it goes all the way through closing day? Just some tips, and each one will have a video. We try to make them short videos as a resource because, like we know, real estate agents like to work at 10 o'clock at night. And unfortunately, Susan and I are not at the office at 10 o'clock at night to go, oh yeah, click here, click here. So this is available at all times. You have the option to take and move it down to the column where you're finished. And yet what I would do is leave it all, because you are going to have multiple closings, and just leave everything where it is so you can come back to it. If you're used to working with buyers, you may not know you need to attach a listing. So we've got, if this is a listing, here's a literal screenshot and a video walkthrough of what that looks like. So we hope that this will help with some of the frequently asked questions. And if there's something you guys think of we need to add, let us know and we can simply add it in here. So go explore that. So we want to go into
The path to getting paid.
all right.
This is your path to getting paid. So this is like your checklist to follow. Again, we love checklists.
Hey, Katie, on that Trello board, they're making
Yes,
a
ma'am.
copy, right? They're making a copy of that Trello board, right? So you're not altering your original.
Yeah, everybody has an individual, will have their own.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like you're saying conflicting on anyone else's list.
The goal behind that is to increase our efficiency, but also create an independence from the agent. They don't need us.
Right.
So.
Did everybody hear Adam? Because the goal is to make you guys as independent as possible with these tools and resources we have, so that you have everything you need.
You don't have to slow down to wait on somebody to tell you
Right.
what the next step is.
Perfect. And that's what we're coming up with, a lot of new systems to ensure that. I'm like taking over your
No,
thing
you're
here. I'm
fine.
sorry.
You're fine. I was trying.
And even with that, some people like to work late at night, and everybody else, they'll still have the resources that they need to be able to do what it is that they need to do, and they can refer back to this if they want to be up at a certain time at night doing,
Or 5 in the morning.
So
right?
Laquan
It's all-
had a question.
right here.
Laquan had a question. Is this the same as command, and what's the difference in this and command? So this is pretty much your walkthrough in command.
Where to go. in
Where to
command.
start through all, but not just in command, but it is primarily focused on command because, it's our new platform and everybody's kind of getting into it. And there's a lot of questions because it's newer. And so this is a lot of, like Katie said, quick videos, attachments with the docs or the checklist or things like that. There's so many different places to go get it. So Katie worked hard and I just checked it. That's all. She did
We
this.
work together.
And just tried to put it all in here in order so that you guys can go to this one place and you should be able to find everything that you need right here. If you can't and it's not there, reach out and let us know so that we can add it to it. But it really was just like Katie said, if you had a question really quick about, okay, well, I know how to get through this part, but I don't know how to attach a listing. Well, it's right here. So you jump in real quick, watch this, few minute long video. She tried to take the shortest ones that she could find and put in there.
Yeah, some of them are us too. I mean, we can't make our own video library of all these features, but some of them are me and Susan saying, hey, this is what this is. And so in this, what I found is there can be overwhelming with resources. And I love that about Keller Williams. Like you could literally go anywhere. But what we found is that knowing that everyone's not going to go do that. So we wanted to make a resource that's here in front of you, if and when you need it, whatever time it's here, you're able to check in and handle it and get your problem solved or your issue resolved versus waiting and going, oh man, and then you run by the office to do something. You're like, man, oh yeah, I was stuck on this one thing. And by that time, it's been a business day. And you're like, Susan, I can't remember, Katie, but there was a thing and it's a blah.
Well,
here it is.
Too, with that, moving from a traditional brokerage as far as a dependent model to this is to help create independence. But our goal is not to be independent agents, it's to be interdependent agents. So for the seasoned agents out there that are going to use this and go through it, it would help us if you see that there's an additional step or something that could help. That's how we grow stronger together. If y'all see something that's missing, let us know so we can add it in and make it run even better.
Yeah, so here's the tool. Check it out. It's for you guys. We didn't create it because we were bored. Remember that. Okay, so let's walk into command real quick, and we'll kind of just walk through this path, and then we'll touch on some of the other features. Okay, so the first thing, we have to let somebody else into the meeting. So 1 second. Is attaching the listing. So I'm just going to play this video. It's about 2 minutes. And it's in our YouTube channel. So that's another resource we have is a YouTube channel that we've created playlist for commonly asked questions and things like that. I don't think this is my video.
Hey guys, I
Yes, it
wanted
is.
to share with you all in video form that we are putting together a tool and a resource for you all to have as looking at your path to getting paid, putting all of your closing and compliance in command and making sure that that runs smoothly so that everything will go as smoothly as possible with your closing and to make sure that you can get paid as quickly as possible. So we put together this tool using Trello. We've been using Trello lately with our new onboarding processes, and it's a great online checklist system. And so we've really walked through all of the steps and tried to make them in small, bite-sized opportunities.
This is the wrong video, guys. This is not the listing video. So please.
Or cards so that you can have the little notes.
Did I not follow it? Bear with me 1 second, y'all. It's not the correct one. Everything's being so slow. What's going on? Here it is. Can you see my screen, guys?
Hey guys, today we are here to talk about how to attach a listing in Command Opportunities. If you have a transaction that is a listing, not a buyer, there's an extra step you have to accomplish when you are putting everything in for your documents and for your closing. So you have already at this stage, I'm borrowing Kim and Slade's account. Thank you so much, guys. You have already at this point put the contact in. Put the contact, creating them an opportunity, and they have, at the next thing, you open up this details. After you have created the opportunity, you open the opportunity, and this is what it looks like. And you'll see in the top left, the property address, the contact's name, and then right next to it, it says select from listings. This is kind of looked over sometimes. And so you may have gotten to the point where it says commissioned and you try to submit it, but it's got a banner at the top and it says it cannot be submitted unless there is a listing attached. It's a very simple process, but sometimes people overlook it. So I want to do a quick walkthrough. You click select from listings and it should auto-populate all of the listings that you have automatically, right? There's some options over here. Here is the listing we're looking for, is the 6644 Rockledge Road. You simply click select. I do want to show you though, if you don't see it immediately, you easily come over here to the show and do all listings, and then you can search by the street address. In this case, it's already right here where we need it to be. Click select. Opportunity has been updated, and now you will see a property address. If you have put a listing in and you're getting stumped and you can't figure out how, it has to have the little for sale sign and the property address there, and it's a hyperlink to show you information about the property. That's going to attach everything together so that when you go to do your commission, it will allow you to go ahead and process. I hope this.
So that, in a nutshell, if you haven't attached a listing yet, and the reason we have a video is because Susan and I don't have deals. So when we do these little examples, we have to use someone else's. It will not let us attach a listing. We have no listings. So
yeah, so most of the time when we do these, it's buy or sell, and we, really wanted to focus on the listings.
Yes, that's been a problem. People will call and say, I can't submit my commission. It's got a big banner at the top. What do I do? It's really simple, but it's simply overlooked. So
I will tell you this too. If you cannot find your listing at that point, it's probably because inside of KWLS, it has expired.
Yes.
Do you want to do a walkthrough and show them how, or you guys could reach out to me and I could get,
we'll do a quick, do a little quick here, because this is for everybody. So
yeah,
your expiration comes from the MLS. MLS feeds into the KWLS. And yet what happens, you have to go ahead and modify the expiration if it changes or the listing agreement extends in MLS. Unfortunately, it doesn't feed into KWLS. But what feeds into Command is KWLS. So if you did the search, you searched all the listings, you did all the things, it's not there. The thing you need to do next is go to KWLS.
And how you get there is through the intranet. So you'll just log in like normal, mykw.kw.com.
Here it is. And then
under My Marketing in the eEdge control panel right there in the middle, if you click the plus sign.
Nope.
She didn't follow my directions.
I'm sorry, I hit the wrong thing. I like to click.
Yes, she does.
I'm a clicker.
And then manage KWLS. So this is where everything feeds, right? So this is KWLS inside of there. Everybody's box says list hub enabled, checked down there, because if it's not checked, then your listings do not feed, right? So once you are inside of there, you can search, find a listing. And the easiest way that I have found to do it is to search the last name of, well, it would be yourself.
Yeah.
But, so last name, so Vicki Wadsworth. And then click search. And then it shows all of her listings, right? So now you see over there on the side, the first one says expired. So when it feeds, for some weird reason, I think KWLS just gives it its own expiration date. We're not sure why. I may not always match up with MLS. I've asked those questions several times and really couldn't get a definite answer about why. But so of course, if you know that your listing is not going to close for quite some time, just kind of go in there and edit the listing and update your expiration date. So it's really easy. So you just click like Katie did, and you'll scroll to the bottom. And you can't see it because your thing is there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
why doesn't hers have it? You should be able to edit. It should have a button on the bottom that says edit, right?
It's because it's not mine. I'm not Vicky. If I were Vicky, it'd give me the permission to edit.
Right. And so you just click edit at the bottom, update your expiration date, scroll back down to the bottom and click save.
Yeah.
So you also want to edit the date. I'm pointing to your thing.
Yeah.
You want to edit the date, but you also want to edit the listing status, right? So you want to put it back active and change the date.
Yeah. So if you change the date and it still shows expired, it's not going to feed back into command like we need it to attach. So the date and the status. Just real quick, because that's something we've seen come up, and that could prohibit, again, you submitting everything.
And if you guys have any trouble, of course, call me. I do have admin access, so if you're having issues getting inside of there and getting things done, you know, I can do what I can do to help out. So just give me a call.
Yeah. All right. Now, referrals. Let's talk about referrals. To show you guys a feature really quick that's cool in Command, and then Susan's going to touch on the compliance to it. We need the key to turn this air down. It is hot. If you go into Command and you log in, command.kw.com, agent.kw.com, you have your MyKW login. If you select the red square, it's going to show you the menu of all the applets. Do you see here where it says referrals? This is where you have received referral requests to join someone's network, or you may have actually received a referral. And that comes saying, hey, I've got someone in your area, and you have to accept that, much like the Op City deal. And you come to an agreement with that agent, Laquan, you're our example in here today, that Laquan and I are going to do business together. He's going to send me a buyer, or I'm going to send him a buyer or seller, vice versa, whatever it works. And this is the headquarters for that. So you can go to my referrals, and it shows all the ones that I have received and sent. Again, I have none. Yet my network, I have many people in my network. So the network is for, if I'm looking for someone in Chicago, Laquan's agent in Chicago, I'm going to send it to him because I've already asked him to join my network. Maybe I have family or friends in Chicago or wherever, Oklahoma. It doesn't matter. This is something you want to take the opportunity to do now, is to build up your referral network inside agent to agent. And then you can look at the map and actually see the referral patterns from Montgomery and into Montgomery. Let's see, give it a second. Referral patterns. You select referral patterns, and it's going to show you going out where the most referrals go to. Thank you, Adam. They got us burning up in here. And it's being awfully slow, but you can see where it would be wise to make relationships with agents in these areas so you can send referrals to them, and then you can actually, that's going out, you can actually receive, look at referrals seen. This is extremely important to go and look in these specific areas, making sure that you have agents there to know to send you business. Everybody good? Cool. Everybody good on this feature? In conjunction with that,
when Katie does have the referral agreement with Laquan, you get to closing and you get ready to submit your closing request to me. You must have the W-9 from that outside broker, right? So that company, you have your referral agreement signed. That's on the checklist inside of there. I recently added the W-9 from the outside broker. That must be, you must have that information, because when you submit your commission request to me and you put your outside referral in, it's going to ask for you to fill in their tax ID number and their information. So once you put that in and then you submit to me, my system, when I try to pull it in, says, hey, do you have this information? Because I also have to input that information into my system, right? And so if I don't have it, then I have to go and get that W-9 as well and enter them in the outside broker section in my system for it to match up and put it into your, we call it a disbursement authorization. You guys get, well, that's what it's called. But you guys, I call it a DA. Excuse me, that's that piece of paper that I fold up and put with your check in the envelope. So, and it breaks down, you know, how everybody gets
everything
paid. So I must have that information, but you also, because when they, excuse me, when they developed, I guess, Command, like before, some of you older guys know we used to do green sheets, and it didn't matter if you put the information in or not. I could always, you know, change it on my end. Well, now it doesn't let that happen. I can't even pull your commission into my system until that's completed on your end and my end.
It prevents anything to be processed, just to reiterate what she said, unless the referral information is in there. And what's going to happen, and what has happened, is, you know, Laquan is an amazing professional agent. He kept up with his client that he sent me. They're Facebook friends. I've already told him, hey, we're going to close it on the 30th. 30th rolls around. He sees the closing picture. He's like, congratulations. And what's he going to ask next?
Where's my money?
Hey, has your office sent my check yet? I saw they closed. So on the front end, the whole point of all of this, and some of you guys may have your eyes glazed over at this point, the whole point of all this is to get everything lined up in the front, cross our T's, dot our I's now, so we can enjoy payday. We can just enjoy our closing day, not have to worry about anything, put the money in the bank and keep rolling. It's not to go, oh my gosh, paperwork, this, that, Susan needs everything. What?
Yeah, so you guys worked really hard to get to closing. So
line it up now and make it smooth as possible
so that you
on
can
yourself.
Have your
and referrals are phenomenal. You want to be in the referral business. But if Laquan sent me business and we close on the 30th and I don't get his information in and I don't line all that up and I don't give it to Susan, my MCA, and he doesn't get paid till 3 or 4 weeks later, Laquan, are you gonna send me business again? He said no. For those of you that can't see him. No, I'm not. I don't want to be in a relationship with somebody that doesn't, you know, honor what I have given them the business. They got paid, right? And so just making sure you're on your P's and Q's with that.
And if this is an outside referral with KW, everyone is doing the same thing. They're all their MCAs or whoever's doing compliance or whatever, getting paid and all the things. They're all asking for the same thing. So if you ask them for a W-9, they're going to be like, oh yes, I got that right there.
Just go ahead and give it up front. And that's why we send out everybody. Everybody's a little bit confused, like, why would we need this? This is so that if you send out a referral, you can get paid on it. Same deal with a lead service. OpCity, your OpCity profile has the W-9 and the referral agreement, and every lead you take has their own individual referral agreement. That will need to be uploaded into there, okay? Just making sure you're doing that. We touched on our checklist, our paper checklist up front matches our compliance checklist in
So I just
Command.
wanted to go into Command really quick if you can. And I just wanted to show them the checklist. And what I meant by what I said, that, you know, they kind of mirror each other. They may not be called exactly the same things. And we may update our checklist to say exactly what Command does, just so you guys know.
Clarity. All right. Being slow. Oh, did I delete all my opportunities? Okay. I work hard on creating these opportunities, guys. Here we go. Which one? Let's not look at a real one.
Do a listing one. Just either one, whatever's fine.
All right. So we're in here. We talked about the details. If you need to change that opportunity name, you come into the details and go to the pencil, and it'll populate the blanks where you can change that. Susan doesn't know our clients, believe it or not. She doesn't.
Nope. So when you go to the document section, here's your checklist over here on the left-hand side. So of course, at the time of listing, the listed section, that's your listing checklist, right? So here's everything that could possibly be required. It's either required, conditionally required, or optional, right? Is that the word that they use, optional?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The
So-
survey is optional.
Right.
The customer survey is optional, but the seller's net sheet is required.
Right. And so if it's conditionally required, we kind of sort of put an explanation in there. If you guys get in there and I have ever failed to put the explanation in there, please let me know. I try to check this out all the time to see what I'm missing, but we have all the things that you can have in there. If you see a document that is missing that should be in there, also please reach out and let me know.
Yes.
At the time, of course, so that top part of that checklist, listed, this is it, right? So at the time of listing, listed, this is your checklist. Of course, when you have a fully executed contract, right, so an accepted offer, under contract, here's the rest of the paperwork that you should have done at that time.
And you see the little parentheses?
Final signed by all parties. I tried to make it so specific so that, because a lot of people, because at the time of listing, you have your seller sign the property disclosure, right? You don't have a buyer yet. There's no accepted
There's no one to give it to.
There's no one to give it to sign the other side. So it's in there twice, and everybody's like, well, you had it in there twice. Well, right, because at the time of listing, you should have had all these things signed, right? But now that you have contract, this is the rest of the paperwork.
Following
So
the
that's
timeline.
why it's in there 2 different times.
Mhm.
So that's what that is. And then the closed section is just uploading a copy of your CD and your commission check, right? Says it's required to get paid. A lot of people come in and they give me, of course, you're going to give me the check because gotta have that. But the CD, it's really, I mean, it's for your records, right? So you probably want to keep a copy of that this is your online file.
Mhm.
So, and then you'll give me the paper copy, or you can take it with you and just scan it in and I'll print it out from there. Either or.
Any questions about the documents and the checklist and how to find them and where they're at and
Closing trailer.
closing trailers there? Okay. Everyone is aware after documents, you have a offer. You have to put in the offer and choose that it has been accepted. You yourself can choose to put in the different offers and counter offers you receive into Command, and yet the only thing we require is the final offer. And remember, it's going to feed into your commission. So make sure that that's in there. You see how the commission is grayed out? Until I put in an accepted offer in this offer section, it's not going to allow me to tell Susan I want to get paid. So just make sure that you're doing that. Does somebody have a question?
I do. On the document side, when you go into document, once you fully uploaded all of your documents, and then go to the closing, I know you said scan in the check, but right up under you said the CD. Does that have to go in as well before you receive your check? The closing disclosure?
The closing disclosure is what, that is, it does not have to go in before you receive your check. But most of the time when people bring in the commission check and the CD to me, scan it in at that time. It's like I said, it's really for your records. I do have to have a copy of it. You can either give me the copy the attorney gave to you, or I can print it from there. It's up to you. Yeah. But it is required. That is a part of my checklist of checking everything I'm doing, because I'm double, triple checking that you guys got paid the correct amount. It's got to match the CD. It's got to match everything I've got, right? So I have to update everything on my end to get you guys paid correctly. And I promise you, closing attorneys make mistakes.
They make mistakes. Lenders make mistakes.
Often. Sometimes they'll say, oh, you know what? Closing attorney.
The
I don't know what that
tugboat's
was.
here.
This closing, they've called me, oh gosh, they shorted my check, the earnest money. even though we didn't hold the earnest money, right? So, I mean, there's mistakes that happen because no one is perfect, right?
Right. So that's what we keep our eyes on.
I just double check, triple check everything.
All right. What else do we have?
I just wanted to jump over into the buyer section to show them that checklist really quick to show you guys. This is something that we cannot alter. I cannot remove this or take this away. It drives me insane. We put all the docs that were required under the one checklist inside of there. But when you go under,
It's just taking a second.
I know, buyer sale opportunity, you'll notice that there is a section that says consultation. We do not have any. I know I need you to try to. Okay, so when you click on that, there are no required docs underneath that section. I thought it would be simpler and easier for everyone to just put it all under contract. You do have some things like buyer's exclusive agent like that are done up front for, you know, I know it's somebody's, but I put everything under contract just so that it all lived in one place. The listing was easier to kind of understand because it's in two different parts, right? So this just has the under contract section and the closed checklist, of course.
All right. Did we cover anybody having questions about the buyer side and that checklist? So if Susan, okay, so I sent this to Susan. Let's look at it. It's for your protection, get a home inspection, but look at the document I sent. She's going to pull it up and
Bless you.
This is actually a listing presentation template. So what are you going to do?
I'm going to reach out to you. Well, first at the bottom, I'm going to reject it, right? So inside of Command, when I check these things, I either mark it missing because the document's not there, or I reject and I put the note inside of there letting you know. I do not know. I've had someone tell me, an agent tell me that they got a notification, and I've had other people tell me that they didn't.
I think it depends on your settings and how you have to set up.
So you guys should know, but what I did is I go ahead and I go into my email and I just shoot you a message really quick and say, hey, please check your rejected/missing inside of Command on that opportunity, right? So you can jump back in and you can go see what I wrote inside of there. When you guys replace or update, it does not tell me. This is where I was saying, will you please reach out to me and just say, hey, it's there, or whatever you want to say.
So if I come back to Susan though, and I'm like, man, I uploaded that home inspection sheet. Ooh, sorry.
Wow.
I was saying sheet, y'all. This is recorded. Okay. Welcome to the family, everybody. The sheet, I'm like, hey, Susan, I don't understand. Wow. I'm going to email her back and say, I don't understand why I need that. And what are you going to say?
I'm going to say, hey, guys, please reach out to Jimmy Ann and discuss that, right? So
AJ.
all I do, guys, is check and make for sure everything is there. Signatures are there, dates are there, initials are there, check boxes have been checked, commission put in, you know, all of that stuff, right? I do not tell you guys the whys. Yeah. Okay. I shouldn't tell you guys the whys because I'm not.
Susan's not a licensed realtor or our qualifying broker.
No.
So we have somebody that fills that role and loves to do it and would love to hear about why maybe you think that the listing template is actually better than the home inspection paper. There's a paper that time because I didn't want to unpack.
Yes, don't say paper form.
Document.
Yes.
Okay, and this
Here we go, guys. Hold on.
Are required by the commission or by our E&O. Okay, the E&O insurance that we pay, they're the $55 that y'all pay every month. We cover the insurance. There is a deductible that you don't have to pay if we have certain forms in place. So everything that's there is there for a reason. If we try to get rid of anything, make it easier on you guys.
Yes.
While still managing risks and all of our liabilities.
Yes.
Fun stuff. Okay. Any questions about that? Oh, I have one more question. Susan, what do you follow when you're doing the checklist and the compliance? What do you follow?
The checklist.
which is a checklist that is where?
It's up front. It's in your closing Trello. It's in the Google Drive. It's on the Facebook page.
And where did that checklist come from?
That checklist came from the broker.
Yeah. So it's not a
Yes.
magical, she doesn't have like
Right.
a index, encyclopedia of, situations that could arise in everyone's deal that she's going to whip out and check. So she's literally, you guys, we're all following the same thing. We're all on the same document. We're on the same
Also,
sheet.
too, I do want to let you guys know that we do have the listing checklist and we have the buyer sale checklist. We are working on transaction broker checklist. You guys have a lot of questions about that.
And we're
I
putting-
cannot answer those questions. So to save time, I'm working with Jimmy Ann to find out what do we need to put on this, so we can put that also out there for you so that you guys know exactly what to do when that comes up.
And putting together training behind it too. So we're looking at modifying everything. All right, so this is kind of all of our really fascinating, interesting things. Hey, Katie, do you have your hand up? Or
Yeah, I do have a
mindset?
question. Yeah, I do have a question.
Okay.
So if we are doing if we sold a for sale by owner
Mhm.
and they're allowing us to do transaction brokerage, do we put them in command as a buyer or a seller?
Well, which side are you representing? So
The
you're
buyer.
representing the buyer, correct? So you would then put,
That was your buyer.
that was your buyer. So inside of there is an option. If you guys look right up here, Katie's going to point to it, add item. Any extra documents that you guys have that are not on this required list or conditionally required or optional, you can just add it. So click add, that plus sign, add the item, name it, whatever you want to name it, whatever makes sense to you. I'm going to open it anyway, right? And so then
And any additional
that's
notes.
where those extra documents can go. You can put them all together or you can put them in there one at a time.
And just communicating, maybe shooting an email over and saying, hey, Susan, on 123 Main Street, it was a blah, 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 blah. I added that item. So she, when she's checking, she doesn't go, wait, what's this extra thing? She can kind of get understanding of what it is. Okay, so now we're going to jump into campaigns. So we talked about the transaction management side of Command, using the opportunities, using the sales pipeline. Y'all, it can really project your income for you guys. And we're looking at the second half of the year and pushing forward. So in this, let's go through some campaigns and designs. And this was one of the questions that was submitted to us that we wanted to talk about. So if you go to the little red square again, it'll show you the menu and you can click on campaigns. This is your dashboard and it shows you the analytics for anything that you put out there, whether it is just a boosted post on your social media platforms, a paid post, direct mailers, emailers. And I'm going to be honest, the emailers, I have played around with it a little bit. And the idea is to do the mass emailing customized to your database. I still myself use MailChimp. It's worked well for me, and that has not been a feature that I've really explored a lot. So if any of you guys have gotten into that email and have had great success, please share that with us because we're always looking to learn more. Anyway, you open the campaign and you see your dashboard here, okay? I don't have a lot of data on my dashboard because I don't run a lot of different things, but as you can see, it will show you where you're at and if you're on target and that sort of thing. So quick post here, it has several different little templates that if you're like, man, I don't want to think about what to create, I don't want to create, you can very easily literally use what they have here, including the words. So there's no reason that we don't see these posts all over Facebook right now. And then it even has some tips and training at the very bottom. This is a new feature. So if you were wanting to figure out some of these different features, is at the very bottom under campaigns. Okay. So, hey, AJ, are you on the line?
Yes, I'm here.
This was your question. So what specifically are you looking to know more about inside of here?
So I had an agent from another market center that was telling me they utilize campaigns, paid ads specifically on social media, such as I think Facebook, or it may have been Instagram as well. And they were able to get a lot of leads from there. They were able to actually track financially the number of leads they were able to get and close. So I wanted to see how to create these ads from existing templates and then see the tracking.
All right, perfect. So we'll do that real quick then. Let's walk through how to do that. So first you go to the, as we know, the little turquoise blue, create new campaign, and then you say what type. So the social post is just gonna be like a free thing. The paid ad is where it goes out and is boosted, and it doesn't necessarily show on your page. The social post is gonna show up on Katie Woodard, Real Estate, KW Montgomery, whatever my page name is. But this boosted is going to go out as an ad, and it's not necessarily going to show on my page. It's going to be attracted to others. So it's very simple. Enter your campaign name. So we're going to name it. And this is for you. No one sees this except you. So when you have multiple campaigns going, you can come back and go, oh, this one I did for open houses, or this one I did for CMAs, or this one I did for listings. It did better. And then you can say, okay, I need to do more like this. Okay, so then you're going to choose your goal. As I have seen, the goals don't really, if whatever you're choosing here, it does not make a difference in your creation. And yet, again, if I'm doing event awareness versus attracting a listing, when I go back and study my data, I'll be able to look at what did what. We've been doing a lot of the attracting listings lately. So we're going to say we're going to attract a listing. And this will depend on you and your individual marketing profiles. What social media or what platforms do you have your account attached to? It's of course not going to share something out unless you have, first thing, the very minimum you need to have is a Facebook business page. Okay, so if you're not one of those people that like Facebook, go ahead and just create you a personal page and then create you a business page. It will not share it out without those things. I do Facebook and Instagram, and then set up campaign. So
hey, can I add something there? We've had people in Tuscaloosa get fined, so make sure that you're sharing stuff as a realtor, that you have the brokerage KW Montgomery attached to it, and that when you share it, it's attached to it because they're handing out fines.
Well, in this campaign, it will actually not allow you to share anything without the brokerage logo or without a business page.
I'm saying outside of this.
Yes.
I've seen some.
Yes, of course. So making sure if you have a specific logo and you're using your own identity and brand, we love that. We welcome that. It has to have the KW Montgomery logo in conjunction with that. That's the brokerage you belong to. KW itself is not enough. That's the franchise. And so as Adam said, in Tuscaloosa, they're fining people. So making sure that everything is branded. Back into campaigns. So I don't know what popped up. Here is it's so simple, y'all. On the left side, it's what you want to enter in. Whether you have an existing listing, you want to advertise to attract more listing. If you do that, it's going to pull in all the info. So you don't have to retype or re-download pictures. It allows you to select from that. And then it gets you to choose your text and everything. And then on the right side, it shows you what it's going to look like. So I don't know if y'all saw when I first opened it up, it said I have changed my Facebook settings. And so it's actually not going to let me today do a post until I correct the Facebook settings in my command profile. Very easily go to your profile and just change that. So add text. Very easy, guys. I'm going to use their suggestion. Thinking of selling, not sure if now's the right time. We can help you find out what your home is worth in today's market. Headline. I can use their suggestion or I can shuffle it to something else. What's your home worth? Sounds great to me. The description, I can put something else in there. I can shuffle it or I can use a suggestion. Do you guys see on the right side how it's all coming together? Whatever I put on the left is shooting over to the right, and I can change the preview whether I want to look at it as an Instagram ad or on the mobile device. It's going to show you exactly what you're creating is going to look like. saving the add text, and then it pops up our next thing. I need to configure my media. So you can select your media for this campaign, and it's going to pull up anything you've created in Designs. So either you can go and create something in Designs and then feed it through this way, or you have created something in Canva or some other way, you can upload it here. I'm going to look at the design library, and I'm going to say I want to boost a post on this Take Command Tuesdays. It's going to pull it over for me. Not ready to use. Okay, I'll select something else. All right, I like this sold. I'm going to attract more listings, so I'm going to put out I've sold something. It has you to verify, and you can make it smaller or larger here. I'm going to preview it. Yes, it's got everything in there. I've already put in the KW Montgomery logo. Here's a thing to be aware of. In Designs, most of those design templates have a logo in there. What Facebook is going to do, though, is going to make you enter another logo. So if you're creating this just to be going on Facebook through a campaign, you can leave off that logo because it's going to require you to put one on there, and it'll look a little silly with two logos. So you see how now you can see what it's coming together looking like. Now I'm going to add my Market Center logo. A lot of screenshots. It's going to look small right here. Never fear. It's going to show you a preview before it goes out, and it's just small here. It will not be. It should not be small on your design. Do you see how it overlapped? So if I was creating this design, I would just remove that DBA template spot and allow it to show my logo that it's going to make me doing campaigns. And it'll show up here. Of course, I chose the gray one. That would not look great because I can't see that well. I would go back and change it to the white one. For this example, we're just walking through the steps. Save. And then I'm going to configure and make sure my business page is attached, you know, and that my Instagram is attached. Because I changed my password recently on Facebook, it's telling me there's a problem here. So I've got to reconfigure that. You should not have that problem if you've already set yours up and everything's working well. This is the key part. All the design stuff is very simple to follow. This is the part that Vicki and I we've been testing and playing around with a little bit. This button call to action. So you have a couple of options, and you can do learn more, sign up, contact us, apply now. Those are the only ones you can use, and the button's right there on your ad. This, when you want to select though, guys, right here in this destination, use Facebook lead generation form. And I wish I was in somebody else's Facebook right now because it's not showing me this. It's going to make you give permission to Facebook to collect information on your behalf. And man, I wish I'd have had that picture. I can show you all what it looks like. I can share it on our Facebook page after this because Vicki did one. We've been playing with it a lot. And if I see you guys do one, I'm going to enter my information so y'all can see that it's working. Does that make sense to everybody? And you can see kind of, I'll screenshot the steps so you can see what it looks like. Very simple. Vicki did an ad the other day. I saw it. I clicked, I want to know more information. Facebook lead generation form literally pulled up a screen and said, this is your information you've put in Facebook. Do you want to send this to Vicki? And I said, yes, I want to learn more. And then it took me to Vicki's Facebook page or app website or whatever else she had that next step. But it's very simple. So if I'm a consumer and I'm looking at Laquan's ad, I'm like, man, I want to learn more information. I click more information. It's going to get Facebook and ask me, hey, are you Katie Woodard? Is this your email? Is this your phone number? Do you want to send this to Laquan? I literally just click yes, and it goes to Laquan's database. Everybody good on that? Let's see, I have a. Yes. Name and goal. Right here? Yes. If you have already in your marketing profile selected that you have it has to come from a personal, but then it has to feed to a business. So if you've got Herds Hauling and Moving or Herds Home Services or whatever that business page is, because my Facebook, it made me change my password recently. Well, it didn't make me, I had spam. It didn't, I never corrected that for this example. So your next thing, you can choose a URL for them to go to next after they put in their information, or choose a landing page. If you've got, an about me and you've customized that, you can do the download my app, which will prompt them to say, hey, you want to know more information? This is what they're going to see next after they put in their information. The mistake we made with the first few we did not select use Facebook lead generation form. We had them go to the site. Well, what we know about consumers is they don't want to put in their information. But if that information pops up and goes, oh, are you okay to share this? They'll go, yeah. So making sure that that's there. And then in target a custom audience, you put in your location. And then, of course, see how it keeps saying you've changed your password. And then do your miles, how many miles around that location you want the ad to go out. And then this new thing says add or change interest. So you select here, and either you can search interest like real estate, home buying, home selling, home improvement, home equity, or you can go through this library of interests that Facebook has given us. And this is based on groups and things that people have selected that they enjoy. So if I select agriculture and air conditioning, then the people that have already liked or in groups for agriculture and air conditioning are going to see my ad. Do y'all know how cool that is? That's super cool. That's like ninja science stuff. So that you literally can target, the different types. And then you save those settings, and the next setting that pops up is your budget and your duration. They have said a minimum of 10 days is really what you want to put out there. We've done a couple $30 ads, and then I've split it between Instagram and Facebook. I've done some for career nights and things like that. We're actually looking at a test group to lab some more of this. And so if you are somebody that's very interested in doing that, I'd love to get with you and put some of these out here and test it, because in other market centers, even close to us, I'm not even saying in like California or New York, but Tuscaloosa, Alabaster, Auburn, Atlanta, they're seeing really great, Dothan, they're seeing leads at 70 cents per lead. Whereas a lead for a lead source is about what, $10 to $16 a lead on average? Yeah. So this is phenomenal to get for your marketing and for your marketing dollars and budget. Test it. Do a couple $30 ads. Okay. See what you get out of it. And it goes directly into your database. Let me show you. You confirm and it goes out. You're not likely going to see this ad because you're not advertising for yourself. Okay, so don't be weirded out when you open Facebook and you're not trying to sell yourself a house. Okay, that's why when I see them on people's, I go ahead and message it and I'm like, hey, I saw this, it came across. That way you can see it's working. Let me show you where your leads are going to come in at.
Hey, Kate, I have a quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, I know we've talked about this before about you have to have a listing attached to it.
No, the listing, Shaquille, I remember what you're talking about, is the direct mailer.
Okay.
That's okay. The direct mailer, which is phenomenal. We've had a couple of agents in our office use that, got a listing from it. Very inexpensive, very simple to use, but they do require you to input a listing.
Okay, but not for the ad.
Not for the ad, just for the direct mailer. And they're going to be changing that so that you can say, hey, I'm Shakira Green, your neighborhood realtor, without having a listing attached to it.
Got it.
Yeah. So this is like outside of that. You don't have to have any, there's no requirements. And in the design library, there's many, many templates for you to use. You don't even have to customize anything. Okay, your leads are gonna come in at the bottom of your dashboard. Do y'all see recent leads? Can y'all see my screen? You see how my mama finally downloaded her app? She's been using the mess out of it too. But you see how it says Curtis Williams Jr. Facebook lead ad? It's going to specify where these people came in. And then you can, let's look at Dear Old Mom, because I want to show you how cool it is. Based on their information on that lead generation form from Facebook, it inputs them in my database because I've given Facebook permission to ask for their information and to send me information. So my mother downloaded the app. Okay, so theoretically, she saw an ad and then downloaded the app. Okay, do you see over here on the right side, left and right? What do y'all see? Anybody out there?
Everything that you looked at.
Favorites.
Me like she's moving to Alex City. She really likes Pine Needle Road. Let's check that out. So, okay, it couldn't load. It probably sold. But theoretically, guys, if you can do this for people, and one of the things, agents have two problems. Too many leads, not enough leads. How many on this call have too many leads? What do we have to lose?
Well, hey, one thing, Kay, you mentioned $30 on that ad.
Mm-hmm.
When we, before Command, when we pushed stuff out, we would literally only put about $10 on it. We were getting, around $1,500 impressions off of that money. So being able to go in there and specifically target an audience. I mean, when I saw that a while ago with apartments, I thought automatically about Glory, her whole firing the landlord.
Mm-hmm.
So if it was me, I would go in there and create maybe 2 or 3 ads at $10 a pop and be specific with that ad toward a certain target and test it and see where you're getting your most bang for your buck. For you throw on $30 in one avenue, I throw 10 in 3 different avenues and see what pays off for you. And the marketing team that put this together, those comments and statements and questions that they have on there, these are top-notch marketing professionals, and what they're doing is they're going in and they're testing this type of statement or this type of question and seeing what stimulates the most reaction. So we're not market specialists, I think it's safe to say. So don't feel like you need to go in there and get all creative and change the stuff. They've already done all the heavy lifting and the work for us.
And KWRI, the marketing team, like you're saying, is working in conjunction with the producers and developers, the product developers of Facebook. Like literally, Facebook is testing how the real estate world uses Facebook with Keller Williams. It's pretty impressive. So it's a win-win all the way around. Let me show you the impressions. He mentioned impressions real quick. Awesome. Taisha, I'll call you next time we put one together for the testing group. If you go back into campaigns, it's going to show you each thing you've done, how many impressions were made, how many clicks, how many people went into your database. Where is it? Let's see. Sorry guys, it's hard to see with the little windows. Here we go. Okay, so here you guys can see different ones I've run either as a test, and what I'm wanting to do and have been doing is using different agents, because you guys, we as a market center don't have as much to advertise. I mean, we have some things that we put out there, but I would prefer to see what results you guys are getting based on the consumer, based on the leads you get for your business. So that's why I wanted to run a test thing. But you can see a career night I did in December. It showed I did Instagram and Facebook. It went for 10 days. I had 29 clicks, 11 clicks, 4 leads, 8 leads. Spent $15 total on each, and it had 1,992 impressions. So what if 1,900 people, 2,000 people saw you as a real estate professional today? That's way better than having a billboard. Because people should be, focused on 10 and 2 and the traffic, not up in the air. And
nobody goes out and rides around and looks for an agent on a billboard. Right? They're looking online and they're looking for a house. They're not looking for an agent.
And we know consumers are looking now more than ever on internet and on, what are people doing at home? Scrolling. So put something out there that they can see, in addition, that can go in conjunction with your care calls and your reaching out. So does anybody have any more questions about this or about Command? I know we went a little bit over, but we had to go deep dive for some of what we had to talk about today. And we're always available. Schedule a quick 15-minute appointment. Typically when I do have conversations with people, Susan, you can agree, is that, it's something someone just needs, confirmation that that's what they do. Because I think when we get into tech, you're like, oh no, I'm going to break it. A simple walkthrough conversation of, oh, Susan, click here. Oh, I did that. That's what it ends up being most of the time.
Even if you guys have already submitted a commission request to me and I haven't pulled it in yet, but there's something that has happened, I can return that to you. After I pull it in, you guys just let me know and I update it in my system and make sure it all matches.
Yes.
So you can't mess anything up.
Yeah, you're not going to break it. Test it, utilize it. A tool in a toolbox that gets rusty because no one uses it is not a very good tool. So this is part of the value that's provided to you and the value that you can provide to your consumer, your client. Make sure that you're aware of how to use it and use it to the best of your abilities. All right, so that's Command. Does everybody feel up to speed, better than ever about Command? I see a lot of enthusiastic people right now. So, all right, guys, that's what we have today. Reminder, end of month transmittal is coming. And if you have any updates on your closings or your closings need to push to next month, that's completely fine. Just please communicate that with us and with Susan, okay? Have a great day, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.